What's up guys? Today's video is going to be a review of the 4 new shades Lisa Eldridge just launched in her makeup collection. It's pretty much hot out of the mailbox. I got them yesterday and so have been putting them to the test ever since. I'd still say this is more of a first impressions. I tend to prefer to try things for like days, sometimes weeks at a time, but I was pretty beside myself when these came in the mail and I just couldn't wait to share them, especially because I'm gonna be comparing these shades to the 3 original velvets that she came out with, the reds, and those she said are going to be restocked within the next few weeks. And so I wanted to share those so that anyone who was interested in purchasing those could see how those shades compare not only to each other but to the others that she just launched as well. I do have a separate video of those 3 in case you want to check that out, but figured it couldn't hurt to swatch them all together just so you could get a good idea of what the shade range looks like now. So let's go ahead and dive in. So first of all, I want to talk about the ordering process. A couple of you guys had questions when I said I had ordered them, and I didn't talk about that in my original video because they were a gift from my mom. So I wasn't really sure how the order placement, shipment, things like that worked. So just really quick, I placed my order. I paid for expedited shipping, and I think Lisa addressed this on her Instagram, but I think there was a shortage of staff at the shipment facility, and so it had been a while before my order came out, and I contacted customer service. Super nice, very prompt, answered me on the holiday weekend no less, saying that there's been a delay and they're working on the staffing and everything, and they refunded my fee for the expedited shipping, which was awesome. Shortly after that, they arrived, and it ships from Ohio. A couple of you guys had questions about where these ship from and if you have to pay for shipping and additional duties and fees if they're imports basically. But there are no hidden fees, at least if you are placing your order in the US. That's my personal experience. There are no hidden fees. What you pay for on the website is the only thing that you'll pay for these, which by the way are 26 pounds individually, which is this many dollars. I don't know how many dollars it is because they don't do the conversion for you. I think even my PayPal statement is in pounds, but in case you're curious. And when they arrived, they were packaged beautifully and safely. Here's the box they came in. There's the top. It has her logo, hashtags, all that kind of stuff. You open up the flap here, and then it was in this package because if you bought 2 lipsticks or more, you received this like beautiful Tiffany blue tote as well. And that came sandwiched in between these little paper insulating things. And then the lipsticks themselves were packaged like this. So each of the tubes was in their box, which also had this paper packaging in here. So really well padded. Nothing was gonna happen to them in transit. And so that was really nice to see. I think those are all the details I wanted to cover in terms of purchasing and shipment. And I only bring up the delay in shipment because the customer service was so good and so prompt. And so to me, that's actually a positive. Like, no, I didn't get it on time, but they were so good at addressing it immediately, and now they're here. So let's get into them. So like I said, if you ordered 2 or more, you got this little makeup bag. It's this Tiffany blue and then has gold piping and detail, and then the Lisa Eldridge logo here. The boxes I think are the same as the original 3 velvets. I don't still have mine, so I'm assuming they are. And then the packaging is also the same. This is one of the velvet packaging. This is one of the newer, or the new lipstick. Exactly the same, has a magnetic closure and a strong magnetic closure. So I have thrown these in my bags before and never has one ever flown open and like lipstick gets up. You know when that happens, when the closure, whether it's magnetic or not, isn't quite as strong, and you'll throw it in your bag and the cap will fly off and then lipstick gets all over everywhere. Never once happened. The one thing that has happened though, and I don't blame this on the tube at all, but you can tell which ones I travel with and which ones I use a lot of. This is velvet ribbon, and you can see, I'll do a close-up on the side of this package. The top hasn't flown off, but it is a little bit dented because I truly do throw these things in my bag and they get some wear and tear on them. So some of these are beautiful, pristine vanity pieces, and others, I mean, I love wearing makeup, so at least I know I'm getting some good out of them. Okay, now let's get into the lipsticks themselves. There are 2 new finishes and formulas, totally different from the original velvets that launched a couple months back. First up are the Luxuriously Lucent, and these are described as a very pigmented but semi-sheer formula. They have a slight balmy finish to them. You can see, when I swatch them, I tend to go full on, like they're very pigmented, very layered, so you can see the kind of maximum pigment that you can get. But she has a video, obviously, talking talking about all of these, where she talks about the versatility, how you can wear them, the different ways that you can wear them. And so it is a very versatile formula in that you can really sheer it out, just get a soft sort of tint and balmy finish on your lips, or you can layer it up to get a more intense pigment, and yet they're still not totally opaque. Like, you can still see your natural lip color and texture underneath it, if that makes sense. So the first shade in the Luxuriously Lucent lip collection I want to talk about is Golightly. This is described as a vibrant semi-sheer salmon, and that's exactly how I would describe it too. It walks that line between pink and like a soft pink and a creamsicle orange, but still has this ultra bright vibrance to it. Like, you can see when it's layered up, it gets very pigmented, but sheared out, it just gives this really beautiful, interesting hint of tint to the lips. And one thing I'm curious about, maybe one of you knows, but because I haven't seen her talk about it, but this looks so similar to the shade that she showed in the Audrey Hepburn lipstick tube that she purchased. She put up that video not too long ago, a week, maybe 2 weeks ago, and there were a lot of requests in the comment section for that shade to be included in her next lip launch. And lo and behold, this looks very similar. So I'm not sure of the timing of like when she made that video versus released it, because this lip launch came so soon after she put that out, but the fact that it looks so similar and it's named Golightly, part of me thinks this might be very close to that shade that she applied there, which I'm not mad at because I loved that shade in that video. So let me know, do you guys know, has she said anything about that? Because that definitely left me with some questions. And now the other shade in the Luxuriously Lucent finish is called Love of My Life, and this is described as a true rosy pink semi-sheer lipstick. Again, description hit the nail on the head. This is more of a rosy berry flush to the lips. This for me is more of a Your Lips But Better shade, even though I absolutely love Golightly because it's so interesting and unique. Love of My Life might be more of an everyday, just kind of something I grab without thinking because it's so similar to my natural lip tone, just with a little bit of a pigmented punch to it. You know what I mean? So this is a really pretty shade for those who might want the option for like a very vibrant yet balmy lipstick, but could also tone it down so it's more of just a hint of tinted gloss or balm across your lips. The wear time for both of these is surprisingly long. The pigment itself clings to my lips that I find, my lip texture. For better or worse, I won't lie, if you've been with me here on the channel for the past few days, it's kind of been lip central, so I've done a lot of swatching. My lips have been a little dry. I think you'll see texture on them as I do the swatches for these here in this video. And while there is some light clinging of the texture to my lips, especially in those rough patches, I don't think once it's all blended out and once all is said and done, it looks unflattering by any means. When they wore away, however, the finish is the first thing to wear away, probably half hour, maybe even an hour and a half. It just depends on what you're doing, if you're snacking, drinking, etc. But the pigment itself lasted longer than that, which I really liked. Also, these are super easy to apply just because they are so sheer, but also buildable, so you could just do a little light kind of layer across the lips and then you're good to go, and you just kind of sustain the same pigment throughout the day without needing to put a lot of time and effort into maintaining that. Now on to the next finish. These are the insanely saturated finishes, and I won't lie, when I first saw her launch video about these were what I was most excited about because I love a good intensely saturated pretty much anything when it comes to makeup. So these had my name all over them. The first shade is Skyscraper Rose. This is described as an electrically modern fuchsia pink. And I have to say, when I first saw this in the tube, I was a little unsure of that description. It looks quite a bit deeper to me in the tube, but when you apply it to your lips, oh wow, it is very vibrant. Electric is definitely the right word, but it too can also be sheared out, so it's more of just a soft, almost stained look to the lips, but still very pigmented. To be clear, these are much more pigmented than the Luxuriously Lucent shades, I would say. The interesting thing to me about this formula is she describes it as a demi-matte finish in the description on the website, and I would say it's pretty matte. I mean, like almost as matte, if not more matte than the original velvet finishes, I would say. Let me know your thoughts down below. But there's something about this formula where it feels almost like a mousse on the lips. Like the original velvets had kind of a traditional lipstick texture to me, thicker, rich, pigmented, but these are like a light, airy mousse, but they come in that traditional bullet format. It's so strange, but in a good way and in a very comfortable way on the lips. These I don't find dry my lips out at all, despite having a pretty long wear time. Kind of like the luxuriously Lucent lipsticks, the pigment itself definitely clings to my lip for ultra long-term wear. Like easily 4 to 5, maybe even 6 hours of wear, again, depending on what you're doing, if you're eating, drinking, all that kind of stuff. But I was shocked at how long these wore and how much that pigment clung to my lips, but my lips weren't uncomfortable at the end of all of it. So it's a very, maybe not hydrating because I don't think they were any more hydrated, but it was it's a very comfortable lip formula. The other shade that I am obsessed with is called Rainbow Spill, and this is described as a bright red coral watermelon pink. And again, I saw it in the tube and I thought, this doesn't look nearly as neon in the tube as I'm seeing it on other people swatching it on their lips on like Instagram or YouTube, things like that. Once again, you put it on your lips and it like comes to life. I can't describe it, it's so beautiful. And especially now that we're in the warmer summer months, not that I won't wear this all year round, but there's something about that warm weather in summer that to me just screams bright lips. So I know this is gonna be by my side for quite some time. And I'm actually wearing a combination of both Rainbow Spill and Skyscraper Rose on my lips today. What I did first was apply Skyscraper Rose all over my lips, kind of softly blending it out with my finger, but I mean, a little bit goes a long way. So even though I tried to put a little on, it still very clearly got pigmented quickly. Then I took Rainbow Spill and I patted that in the center of my lips just for some really fun multi-chromal dimension rather than just using a lighter shade or a gloss in the center of my lips. I thought I'd do more of a colorful gradient. And then I went back and forth between the two just to make sure they were blended and there were no harsh lines, and that is what I'm wearing today, and I really love the combination of the two. Overall, these are beautiful formulas, gorgeous shades, and I think she's done it again in terms of a group of lipsticks that are absolute winners. Okay, and last, really quickly, just wanted to throw up a clip of all of the existing line now swatched together so you can get an idea of how these new shades compare against the original velvets, which were 3 variations of red. But when I look at them all swatched together, they paint such a beautiful color story. I'm hoping this seasonal launch thing is a trend, like the reds were over the holidays, these are the summer shades, and maybe we'll get like some nudes, neutrals in the fall, fingers crossed, because those are the additions I would love to see to this spectrum of shades. But until then, I will be ecstatic with what I have, and I would recommend them to anyone else who was considering purchasing these. The shades are beautiful, the formulas are amazing. If you've had your eye on them, would definitely recommend getting your hands on the velvets when they restock coming up soon. But that's it from me, guys. Those are all of my thoughts on these. I hope it was helpful if you're considering purchasing these or just curious about what the shades look like. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and besides that, I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.